All right, Synergy family, welcome to another fantastic Wellness Wednesday. I am your host, Alex Zito, the Synergy Voltage Master, and I am coming to you today, February 18th. I can't believe we are almost at the end of the second month of 2026 already. Time is flying by. Today, we are going to talk about some comparisons, some conjunctive things that you can do along with your biomodulator treatments to enhance some comparisons as to why the biomodulator and all of the accessories, including the biotransducer, the touchless types of things as well, why they work so well compared to some other quote unquote biohacks, and then how to enhance your experience as well. So we're going to touch on a little bit of both of those. Before I get into that, though, I do have a couple of quick announcements for all of you. We are hosting a fury of events coming up here. The first one being this Saturday, February 21st. I am going to be hosting along with Scott Tennant and Danielle Palmer. It is going to be a very, very exciting show for you. We're going to start building the foundation of health. We're going to show you what it takes to build that firm foundation that we know energy provides so that you can stack on all of the other things that you want to do in your life. Join us for an educational and fun experience that's only going to be about 2 to 3 hours. We're going to really pack it in so that if you don't have the time or you just want a rapid fire, that's what we're going to provide on this Saturday, February 21st. That is going to start at 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern. So tune in for that. And we're going to be previewing a little bit about what we're going to do in our larger event, March 7th and 8th. That will be our Foundation of Health Biomodulator 101. We're really going to dive deep into what the biomodulator can do, all the accessories, all of the other ways that you can use it. We're going to have Dr. Amy Marshall coming to talk about emotional releases with that, detoxing. We're going to have Dr. Francisco Sidral talk about how you can quantify what is actually happening in your body with that. We're going to have Danielle Palmer and her sidekick in crime, Natalie Sakamoto. They're going to talk about how to actually get the biomodulator on your body. They're going to do a lot of hands-on work showing you how to release the pain from specific parts of your body. A lot of Q&A opportunities. If you have been dealing with something specific, you're going to be able to get those questions answered and demonstrated in real time how to handle that on your own or with somebody else that is with you. And if you are a practitioner, we still have a couple spots available. It's going to be a very intimate experience in March 12th through the 14th for practitioners or people who want to be practitioners to join Danielle and Natalie in a very, very intimate setting to learn what almost no one in the world is doing right now and becoming a biofrequency specialist. So that is going to be a super fun opportunity. Call Synergy. Reach out to us if you have any questions on any of those. The event on Saturday is free. It's a free sneak preview into everything and a lot of education there. And then the other larger events are paid. However, if you have already purchased a device, you can come for free to our 7th and 8th event. And if you have purchased the practitioner training from Danielle and Natalie, that event is also included with your purchase. So that is an amazing opportunity as well. And we would highly encourage you, if you're interested in those large multi-day events, to come in person, because we are going to be doing, like I said, a lot of hands-on. It's going to be amazing online as well. However, if you can make it in person in the Dallas area, it's going to be a magical experience. So with that, let's get into some comparisons as to why as I've said repeatedly, that the biomodulator works when nothing else seems to work. Why does it break through the barriers that other biohacks, other things that you might have tried have fallen down when they were very promising? They have worked for other people, but when you tried them, they just didn't get you to where you needed to be. They didn't free you of that pain. They didn't get you over the hump to where you could be free to live your best life. Why the biomodulator? How does it compare to the other modalities, the other things that you might have tried in the past? And how can we stack some of those up and in a way that is uh, biocompatible to your body, in a way that your body can integrate them and actually use them instead of throwing good money after bad and not being able to live your best life, like I said. So we're going to start with diet because that really truly is something that you can start right away and is very conjunctive. We're going to get into exercise. We're going to talk about vitamin supplements, physical therapies, and other biohacks. And I would just like to mention before I get into any of that, that none of this is medical advice. It's all for informational purposes only. Contact a medical professional before making any medical decisions. This is simply to give a lay of the land, review what your options are out there, and see how, if you already are a device owner, you have a biomodulator, how you can stack these onto them. Or if you've tried these things without a biomodulator you haven't purchased yet, how the biomodulator can make a difference in these therapies and make them stronger or make them work at all. For me, for example, I was trying all of these things. I consider myself a bit of a biohacker and I love trying new things. However, none of them were moving the needle at all until I got my hands on the biomodulator. And I'll show you why that is in just a few seconds. So let's start with diet. Diet, as we know, can make or break any other thing that we try. And yet it's so often overlooked by the medical community because it's easier to prescribe a pill or to say, get this injection or this surgery or try physical therapy, something that is within their purview. Diet is a bit harder to control. It's a bit harder to diagnose because everybody is different and will respond differently to different diets. For me, it's, stay as natural as possible. Avoid the processed stuff. Stick to the way that we have eaten for centuries, millennia, and you should be much better than whatever it is that you're doing now. If you're in pain, if you're in a chronic condition that isn't going away, changing your diet to be more natural can only be a good thing, right? If you have any sensitivities, if you have anything going on there, be mindful of those and stick to what you know is best for your body if that is something that needs to shift. And of course, have fun with it too. A lot of people, when they talk about diet, they think of the first three letters in that word, DIE. That might give you some indication that it's painful for a lot of people. You aren't going to die. However, if you splurge every once in a while, have a cheat meal, go out, enjoy yourself, that goes a long way too, because your mindset needs to go along with the foods that you're eating. I know some of the healthiest eaters in the world that are constantly sick because they're so stressed out about what they're putting in their body. That mindset of, did I make a mistake, or is this right for me? That causes the internal pain, the internal strife, and gets them sick, even though they have a diet that is much better than most people I know. Does this make sense? So have fun with it. Eat as clean as you can and use your biomodulator to get that energy directly in, and those nutrients from that diet will get that much more embedded into your cells. It'll be that much easier to integrate, convert into the nutrients that you need. And everything gets better with that direct energy. I'm gonna touch on that at the end here as I go through all of them and show you why that energy is so important. So let's talk about exercise. Exercise is also something that you can do right away for most people. However, if you're like me and your pain is such that you can hardly get up the stairs, you can hardly walk when you are doing things, exercise might just compound those problems instead of helping to alleviate them. So if when it comes to exercise, you might need an electrical boost that would come from something like a biomodulator where you're getting that energy, that mitochondrial function, that ATP production that would normally come from, say, a brisk walk or a light exercise, but you can't physically do those things yet. And that boost from the direct energy in something like that is biocompatible, like the biomodulator, would give you that extra boost so that you physically can do those things, so that you can hand it off or use it in conjunction with exercise, which is fantastic for your overall health. Keep it simple at first, maybe a light walk or some very light weights, some yoga, some meditation, whatever it happens to be. You don't have to move. Like in the case of meditation and breath work, you don't have to actually physically move to get an exercise in your system. So start slow, use the energy to catch your body up, and then start to progress from there, because there's so many studies on the value of exercise, especially weightlifting and light cardio in conjunction, that will carry with you into your later years and really, really make a massive difference in your overall health. So if you're not ready for exercise, use the energy, boost all of the internal systems, and then slowly build yourself up into that exercise. Now, chemical interventions. I love this one. Again, not medical advice. None of this has anything to do. A lot of times, chemical interventions are absolutely necessary. Modern technology is fantastic. And if you need it, get it. Talk to your doctor, whatever the case may be for your specific situation. And I just wanted to do it as a point of comparison. These chemical interventions come in the form of vitamins, supplements, pharmaceuticals, all kinds of things, peptides, injections. All of these things are ways to modulate your body. Some of them are very subtle, like most vitamins. They run in the background. They're designed to enhance the system without you really feeling it, other than maybe a B vitamin, which is stimulatory. Some other examples I'm sure are out there, caffeine being one of them, of course. But others are like nuclear bombs to the system. They are designed to get you to feel something in that moment right away to really make a change. Narcotics, barbiturates, opioids, all of these things make a massive, massive change. And what do we know about those types of things? Well, they're not sustainable. They become addictive. You need more and more of those in order to get the same type of results, and that can be very detrimental to the system over time. They might be absolutely necessary. If you just had surgery and you need that painkiller, then you take that painkiller, right? However, we want to support our system in a way that is not dependent, in a way that is doesn't necessarily need a conversion to work, and is sustainable over time, so that we can keep getting better and better instead of being reliant on this chemical in order to feel good, or at least feel not bad, right? Most of these do not get to root cause. They are just designed to support in the moment or to supplement in the background. And they can, the ones that are in the background, the vitamins and the supplements, those are amazing to use as conjunctive with energy. However, the thing about energy is it gets right in there. And that, let me put a caveat on that. Only if it is biocompatible, like what you get in the biomodulator. If it is a square wave, for example, like a typical TENS unit, then it cannot get integrated and it's disruptive to the system. So you have to be very careful with any type of energy work as well. Make sure that it is supplementary, that it is complementary to whatever other vitamins and diet and exercise that you are putting into the body, and can enhance those instead of throwing another wrench into the system and not really supporting your body long term. So vitamins, supplements, great. However, it has to be converted. You have to get good quality, and some of the more aggressive forms of chemical interventions, like the opiates and the other things we know can be disruptive and not sustainable long term. They can become addictive. So be careful. Talk to your doctor. Figure out what's right for you and enhance with the energy. Physical therapy and surgeries, those things, again, um, they're very dependent on what your current situation is. If you need that surgery, you need that thing removed or altered or supplemented, then do it. Talk to your doctor as to what is best for you, and then use the energy when you're doing the physical therapy, when you're post surgery, to help that recovery, or to, right now, if you have already done those things, to make sure that those are not required in the future. Or if you haven't done those things, make sure that you're setting yourself up so that you won't need them in the future. So everything that you do can either be preventative or recovery with the energy, if you have a good quality and you're doing it on a regular basis. You're keeping all of your cells charged up and ready to go to be the best you possible. If you keep doing that, then the odds of needing those other things, apart from catastrophic injury, which of course happens and we can't necessarily avoid, but when it comes to a chronic condition that builds over time, if you give your body what it needs to combat that, to reverse some of that, whatever your case happens to be, just giving your body that healthy environment in which to live is something that can absolutely help around or to prevent those things like physical therapy, surgeries, and physical manipulation. And hopefully you won't need those things and you can just get a massage anytime you want to, because those are awesome, right? So that's that. And then now let's talk about biohacking more broadly, because there are so many things out there nowadays that you can get into that are all claiming to be a panacea or to target something very specifically, and they all have these big claims. There's so many things you can try out there, and like I said, I was a bit of a biohacker. I still am today, and I love trying new things. However, like I said, nothing moved the needle for me until I met the biomodulator. And let me show you why. Some of these biohacks, they are great for something that, like, you can do a temperature regulation via a sauna, a cold plunge, something like that. You can do physical pressure in a hyperbaric chamber, a CVAC pod. You can do directed energy therapies that are sending energy into your body via PEMF, red light, all kinds of different modalities in the energy space. And they all have their purpose, right? They all can be useful for different things. And I suggest that you try them if you haven't tried any of them. However, the biomodulator combines a lot of these into one, and they do it in a way that isn't just one size fits all. So shall we say, most of these biohacks, they are what they are. You step into that sauna, you lay on that mat, you point that thing at yourself, right? it's not talking to your body at all. It's just doing what it does, and it could do it well. However, it's not a two-way conversation. The biomodulator, on the other hand, is. It's using the physics principle called a cybernetic loop to adjust in real time to exactly what your body needs. So not only is it giving you a biphasic sine wave, which is the language of your cells, it doesn't need to be converted very much at all. It already is speaking the same language, and it's adjusting in real time to make sure that that signal stays just as biocompatible in minute 1 as it does in minute 10. And that makes a massive, massive difference. If something is great at first, but you overdo it, it can become counterproductive. You could overload the system so where it starts to repel it and it starts to have a negative reaction versus something that adjusts with you to make sure that you're having a good reaction the entire way through. And that's with the physical stimulation. The other thing it does is that it has attachments like the biotransducer, like the red light therapy pad, and maybe one more thing that we're going to announce very shortly. Stay tuned for that. Which I'm really excited about because it's pretty cool. So stay tuned. Call us if you have any questions on any of that. But the biotransducer combines a lot of things all in one. It has the PEMF, very subtle, much lower than other PEMF therapies, just to get in at the cellular level. Again, everything is about biocompatibility, making sure that your cells can actually absorb what is being done to it. So our engineers made it so that there's just a tiny bit of PEMF coming out of that biotransducer when connected to the biomodulator, along with the red light or blue light if you have the pro model, along with the frequency therapy, along with the scalar, which is really the brains of the operation, which is really where the magic happens. Your natural energy, the natural energy of the earth, scalar that goes right through your clothes, through whatever else is around, a cast, a brace, things that you can't get the physical stimulation on. The biotransducer is fantastic. And then we have things like the red light pad, which has the infrared, near infrared, red light, all into one. Really, really great option also for a touch-free experience. And we have all kinds of electrodes that you can charge up your entire body or get in between hair follicles or do multiple areas at once. There's all kinds of options. So call us to see what is great, best for you, and check out our 2-day Foundation of Health Biomodulator 101, where we're going to talk about all of those different options and see if you've been using one like the Y electrode forever because it's so versatile. You can reach back, you can do this, you can do that. It gets nice and deep there, but there's others that could really enhance what you're doing. So check those out. And we're going to be talking a lot about all the things that the biomodulator does at that March 7th and 8th event. And I'm going to be talking about energy more broadly on Saturday, February 21st, so you can see what the impacts can be for you and how energy really is the missing piece. If you have been struggling and you've been trying these other things that we've mentioned today, and you still aren't seeing the results that you want, need, and desire, then check out our Saturday event with Scott Tennant, Danielle Palmer, and I, as we go through the science and the background and why energy, why now, and you will get that eye-opening experience that I had the first time I tried the biomodulator on myself and what an impact that made. That's 10 a.m. Central Time this Saturday, February 21st. I'd also like to mention that I do have a podcast that is out today that was done. It's called the Asking Better Questions on Purpose podcast with AJ Bieber and Dr. B. They were phenomenal hosts, and we go into more of the mindset work and what the energy did in my life and what it can do for you to get you over that hump and allow you to start doing things more for yourself that aren't reliant on any other external factors, but you can start to do it in yourself. You can start today. You can start right now. Like I said, with a lot of these other things, you can do it as well. Start with the diet, see if you can build up to the exercise, see what vitamins and supplements can help you along your journey. However, if you don't have that energy in there, it's not going to be able to be absorbed as well. It's not going to be integrated into your system as well. So make sure your energy is solid. Build that foundation, add as you go, and everything will get that much better here in 2026 and far beyond. I look forward to seeing you guys in person in our March events, if possible, and online at our February 21st event at 10 a.m. Central, where we are going to have a lot of fun. Thanks again for another brilliant Wellness Wednesday. And I think I am going to touch on that mindset piece a little bit more next week as we get into hopefully some warmer weather as we transition out of the winter. Thanks again, guys. Stay energized, and I will see you next week.